this short and sweet so we can continue to eat and drink and celebrate with Natalie and Ron. So I just want to share a little memory, and probably my favorite memory of Natalie. And it's when we cheered together in high school. And a lot of you may not know much about cheerleading. I was called a flyer, meaning they would throw me up in the air and I would pray to God there was someone underneath me to catch me. And Natalie was my spot. And what the spot would do was to help to get the flyer in the air and also catch her when she's coming down or off her pyramid. And that pretty much signifies my friendship with Natalie. She has been my spot through life. She's always encouraged me. She's always been behind me. I don't have to turn around. She's been by my side, and I trust her 100%. And I am truly blessed by our friendship. And Natalie and Ron, thank you so much for inviting me to stand by your side on this very special occasion. And I want to end with a short quote by Mary Stevens that I really think sums up Natalie and Ron's relationship. And it is, anyone can be passionate, but it takes two true lovers to be... Sorry guys, let me rewind that. Anyone can be passionate, but it takes true lovers to be silly. And that's what they are, silly in love. So here's to Ron and Natalie.
Hello everybody, in case you don't know me, I am David, I'm Ronnie's brother. He calls me Mini-Me, or Mini-Me. A lot of people just call me Little Ronnie, so either way. First off, I want to say, these are two of my favorite people up here today. And the fact that they invited everyone out here today means that they love you. And if they love you, I love you. So everybody loves everybody. Alright, let's talk about my big brother Ronnie, aka Rojo, Scrawny Ronnie, Chicken Legs, Mr. 8 Handicap, as he says, the one nostril wonder, or most important, Natalie's lesser half. So, as a younger brother would do, I thoroughly enjoyed instigating Ronnie and getting him as much trouble as humanly possible when I was younger. And although my mom looks sweet and innocent, she's a force to be reckoned with. And you notice in Ronnie's kitchen he doesn't have any wooden spoons. There's a reason for that. Natalie, they work well in this story. Let me tell you about a story when we were growing up. Ronnie and I went to the same high school together, but when I was much younger, he would get ready early in the morning, about 6 a.m. to go to school. And as he'd get ready, I'd try to instigate him here and there, try to make him a little bit upset. And I was about, 12 or 13 years old at the time, about 4 feet tall, a foot shorter than I am now. And I wore this full-size adult robe. It just looked ridiculous. It was like a gown. We were taking Ryan to school one day, my mom and I was behind him, flicking the back of his ear and poking him and trying to get him really mad. And finally we got to school and he goes, "David, stop, you're annoying me." So it worked. And as he's getting out of the front seat, I get out of the back seat so all his friends can see me in my robe. And I look at Ronnie and I say, "You're just mad because you're bloated and have a bad hair day." So I was hoping that it would stick with him all day and just make him self-conscious all day, and either he'd cry in the fetal position or kill me. I'm here today, so. But even though I was an irritating little brother, I've always looked up to Ronnie. And I mean, in middle school and high school, when I was writing papers about my biggest role model, it was always Ronnie. And Natalie, you're amazing. And the last 7 years of you only knowing each other, you started out hating Ronnie and not wanting him to get a job with you guys, and now you're sitting here with him today and want to spend the rest of your life with him. So I don't know how he turned that around, but I'm glad he did, because I love the Wileys, and I'm glad that our families can combine together. So here's to Ronnie and Natalie, and here's to
Hello everyone, my name is James Cobb. I'm another best man or something. Second place or something. I spent yesterday really roasting Ron, giving him jabbing in elbows. So I kind of wanted to share a little bit more sentimental story today. Ron and I spent a good part of our friendship working out at the gym, and And not anymore. Those days are over. In those moments, we used that time to work out and actually just kind of catch up, like unload and just share, hey, how was your week, and all that stuff. And I remember when he first started at Northwestern, it was a big risky move, and he was kind of nervous but very enthusiastic, very excited about like all the potential of his new career, and he talked about it a lot, and he didn't always grab my full attention while we were working out, but I did notice there was a certain point, because he started this career with Northwestern, was very gung-ho and very motivated and excited, and I was excited for him, but there was a patch somewhere in the midst where you could sense that motivation deteriorating a little bit, kind of fading out, and that drive, it was there, but you hear that in a conversation with somebody where it's just not quite what it was. And I noticed that, but then, one day he, in the midst of all these kind of like, gradually declining conversations, he shared with me, one day he came in kind of very chipper out of nowhere, and he was just like, James, that Natalie, I love that girl. And I was like, oh, well, why? And like, he didn't really elaborate much, but it was kind of like communicated just in his voice and tone and everything. And I knew that they had had some conversation behind closed doors that kind of rejuvenated him. He had probably, he had hit a point maybe where he was questioning, oh gosh, this was a risky move, going out on my own, making my own business and taking this leap of faith, and he may have experienced self-doubt, but I knew that they had had a conversation where Natalie probably smacked him around a couple of times, like, come on man, suck it up, you got this, keep pushing forward. And that struck a chord with me, personally, because, we all find our own personal lower moments of self-doubt and, questioning what we're doing. And, Ron probably hit that, but he had a partner by his side that was there to hoist them up when I probably couldn't and to hoist him up and like, give him whatever he needed to kind of keep moving forward. And that is when, I always had great respect for Natalie and admiration, but I think that's when she really got my seal of approval, because I saw something so amazing, such a pillar of a great relationship, where when her partner was kind of hitting maybe a low point in his life, and she was there to bring him back up, and that really struck a chord with me. And I'm so happy for you, Ron, having found someone. I know you can provide that for her, and now I know that she can provide that for you, and I'm happy for you both. I wish the best for you both, and I love you guys. So.